Dearest Mr. Presidential Candidate Donald J. Trump, yes, I am for Donald Trump to take back America in 2017. There's an issue that I truly believe is not or has never been addressed to my knowledge. There needs to be many law changes in our veteran healthcare system. One to be the most disturbing laws are regarding the Federal Tort Claims Act. See Federal Trade Commission Act, June 25th, 1946. Chapter 646, Title 460, Statute 812. 28 U.S.C. PT 6, Chapter 171, and 28 U.S.C. 1346b. To permit private parties to sue the United States federal court for most tort acts. A tort is a civil wrongful act other than under contract, leading into civil legal liability. Did you know the population of administrative contracted employees? In the least, I know that it is substantial. And now, our military and our veterans going under the knife, per a letter that I received, that when a contracted employee messes up during a medical procedure, they don't have to answer and or they held responsible for any medical malpractice issues. They are exempt. How can this be, Mr. Trump? April 23rd, 2013, my 20-year naval veteran husband went in for a bladder resection or bladder removal due to bladder cancer. And little did we know the level of care that we would receive would forever change our lives. This disgusting rat hole of a Veterans Administration hospital in Miami, Florida has killed so many of our vets. I watched one personally. Sadly, the wife of that veteran was not English fluent and had no nuts to speak of. I tried to help her, but she didn't understand. They sent the man home. My son and I wheeled him out with her, and as the pus pouring out of his legs, we warned her, don't take him home. He died in a helicopter. He died coming to the after leaving in a helicopter from his hometown back to the shithole. I held her hand, all while holding my own husband's hand, who they were trying to kill. But fortunately, I came from a long line of red-blooded Americans who fight for what is right. Dr. Jorge Caso and his medical assistant, or Dr. Jerowitz, took my husband in which was to be the first laparoscopic operation to remove his bladder for bladder cancer, and it was only supposed to take between 4 and 6 hours. After 4 hours, nothing. After 6 hours, nothing. After 8 hours, nothing. Sat with me, my stepson, airborne Army vet, sat with me waiting, pacing for 12 hours without any word. Finally, Dr. Caso came to us and said, we got him through it and he looks good. We had to take extensive glands and his prostate through his scrotum. He will be rolled by you in about an hour as Jerowitz is sewing him up, which I believe is thoroughly responsible for the 3-centimeter hole in his colon. I thought to myself, okay, he's alive. I broke down into tears of joy until he did ride by me. Unrecognizable. He looked like Jabba the Hutt, and that is not a joke. I was not prepared for the next 38 days, and for so far the next 28 surgeries that would have to take place to save his life. Made of poor choices by doctors. His surgery failed, collapsing inside of him. But how we found out was a couple trips to ICU, with fevers and sickness, and from the pig holes on the 11th disgusting floor of the Miami AVA. In this shithole, Dr. Caso came to me, checking on him, with a look I knew something wasn't right. I started taking pictures of everything, and yes, filled containers of fluid, blood on the floors, mold in the walls, and yes, against every rule that the Veterans Administration has, because I don't give a shit. This is my husband's life. I kept asking, why so much pain? Why so much bloating? The answer was, we don't know. Well, here's the day that will for sure show you how They care for our vets. Dr. Casso, head of urology, and still to this day is head of urology in the Miami Department of Veterans Administration, looked at his stomach, stuck his finger in a hole, and said to a nurse, "Get me some suture removers in front of me." She brought them back to him. Mind you, I was holding my husband's ankles with no pain shot on board first. Started cutting into his 15 by 5 by 5 inch hole in his stomach, and he dehissed. For those who don't know what dehissing is, it means to split apart or to fall apart. Basically, my husband was filleted open, and I got to see his small bowels. Now, I thought I had seen a lot, working in the funeral business briefly. Nothing like the smell of a rotted body when shit and piss have been rotting in his body from the inside out. I have pictures that are so bad that I can't show you, but I will if needed. And if it heightened demand, I will post them. They have no idea that I have recorded conversations that I know I took illegally, but sticking garbage bags over my husband's stomach, thinking it would keep the fecal matter from backing up inside of him. Telling me this happens all the time. So they decided to get him back into the OR and get a wound vac on him. Could have been the worst decision. Some experts say that his hand, it's hard to get through this decision for some experts that have thoroughly reviewed his hand cart full of boxes of records. The wound vac kept the fistula open with the amount of fluid flowing through it, and the suction may have caused him his life. They said it was okay until we were going to send him home. They were going to send him home with that wound vac. An assistant to Dr. Karen Zachow, head of wound care in Miami, which thank you, Karen Zachow, for everything that you've done in saving his life. You are an amazing lady. I am not to mention this woman's name who came to me, because to be honest, I was in pure shock of her telling me what was happening and her not being allowed near me again. I don't have it, but I would love to say thank you if she's watching. She will likely never forget me. She said during the urostomy bag change training, "Karen, in my 20 years of wound care, I have never seen what is going into that wound vac." I looked at her and said, "What do you mean?" "Karen, do not take him home until these containers, that, mind you, filled up so fast that it was not normal and I had no idea. And after so much bitching at the doctors and bullshit fights to get what was in the container tested, they tell me what's in there. They ordered the test maybe 2 days later. I could be wrong on the time frame because I am human. We got the results, and it's shit and urine by a 3-centimeter hole in his colon and a couple of shit reconnections of ureter. Surgery still collapsing. Now I'm scared. Oh my God, all I could think of is he's going to be septic and die, and I am going to lose him. And that was my instant thought. And I said to Dr. Casso, "What are you going to do in that hallway?" "Well, he said these things will heal. We need time," general surgery told me. I put my faith in the head of general surgery to clear up the mess Dr. Casso had made of him. They just kept changing the bottles out and shit and had tube feeding, very high amounts of dilaudid. He doesn't remember much, thank God. But when the shit started finding other places like his scrotum and now jeopardizing the integrity of his skin, the shit pouring all over, out of every opening, his scrotum was the worst. They ordered a nurse every 15 minutes to wash him, to save his skin. Do you think they gave a shit? No, not enough staff. I'm sorry. I was forced to wipe him up every 15 minutes and I would have died for him. So this didn't affect me as much, pissed me off more than this man is worth. This man is worth much more to me. Others sit in VA hospitals left for dead. And here's another example. Stan Wettshelter and Janie of Pennsylvania asked me a favor, as they were my housemates in the Fisher house. After the husband Stan the former head of a major medical facility, I believe in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, said, "Karen, we have to leave our uncle here for a week, and we are coming back. If we pay you, will you come check on him?" I said, "Of course, but you don't need money." They insisted. I would go every hour or two and check on him between wings. I found him stuck in the bathroom, covered in blood where he fell. He was bleeding and no one checked on him. This makes me so mad. On the phone in 2 seconds with Stan and Janie, and of course they took over from there. He was a little old frail man, and so sad that nobody cared. Now, nurses on the 11th floor were aware I was starting to be appointed by other family members to watch people. What does that tell you? I started to get evil eyes. Yeah, like I gave a shit. You're not killing my husband or any more around me. I will mention one nurse aide that without her, I might not have made it. Flowers, if you see this, please contact me. I would still like to let you know that you are the only one that was by our side. After bitching for help, days with no sleep, Flowers came to help me. When Flowers was on, I could go to the Fisher House, which was amazing to me. Thank you, Fisher House in Miami. I could lay down with my eyes bleeding. I could break down in the shower, and I could lay in the hallways on my knee or be on my knees. I had no one there barely for 38 days. I would sit on my knees in the hall begging God, yes, God. How we were ever able to leave there without a casket, I don't know. And doctors are amazed that he's still alive. This shout out goes to God and Jesus, Flowers, and all the other people, and all the people that cared enough to send us a card, to call, and love us for all the situations we've been through for the last 3 years. There is a ton more to this story, but I am just going to make people more pissed off at me. And currently, this is the hardest thing. He currently has approximately 28 procedures under his belt. He lost a kidney last year, and now the only kidney he owns is stented. If I hadn't sold it all and moved him here to Maine, I would have lost him. He would not be alive today. After traveling from Bonita Springs to Miami for a few months, 1 time a week, 6 hours one way, I knew when I got him stable that we were getting him out. And it was the right choice. If not for Dr. Hodap in urology and Dr. Berry in general surgery in the Augusta Togus VA, he would not be here today. Their thanks needs to be said as well. Thank you for caring and giving a shit enough about him to keep him alive. I want to publicly thank my son, Anthony Naples, who, a college student, son of a 20-year veteran, sacrificed all of his summers to help us take care of Jesse, who helped take care of our pets, our home, and tried to come visit me as much as he could without losing our animals. Dearest Donald Trump, in saying this, we went from hardworking American people to neither of us can work. It took me almost 2 years to get him 100% disability. This has to change. He was disabled from surgery 1. I might be a little wrong on the time frame. It may even be longer than the 2 years I fought for it. We had to stand in food bank lines, lower ourselves and beg for help, if not for a stranger group in Texas called Operation Military Embrace. OperationMilitaryEmbrace.com, Jerry and Debbie Reed, who I reached out to. They even paid some of our heating oil bills in Maine when we got here. They paid for over $20,000 of our bills in the time that I couldn't pay for anything. They could use the money back, and if any of you would like to help them, it'd be the most awesome group to help. Who didn't know me and spoke to me one time and said, "Send me all your bills." I thought it was a joke. Wounded Warriors wouldn't help me. None of the military other groups would help me. They knew we were losing everything. No one would help. Red Cross was able to help a couple of times, but their laws are strict and they can only help a couple of times. And that's it. Senator Susan Collins' office is on board with us. A staff member, Adria Horn, former member of Susan Collins' office, was amazingly got the stick in the fire to help me as well. Currently, Kate from Susan Collins' office is working on the rest for us and is still in our corner, along with my attorney, Timothy Kenelan of Lewiston. Bottom line, Mr. Trump, we were denied our tort claim for the Federal Tort Act, FTC, because it doesn't cover contracted employees of the VA. Please change this law. It is a much needed review and change. Our vets deserve some recourse and where the level of care is minimal at best. I plan on voting for you if you hear or see me, if ever anyway. You can change this shit the idiot in the White House has done. We have your back in Maine. I can't speak for all Mainers, but I'm one of them, and I know lots of them that have your back. Trust me, don't pay attention to the maps. You got us. I'm here, along with every veteran that I know. The one last thing, most veterans don't know. Most veterans don't know of the laws. They must be informed and a way to know these things. They have forms that are pages long that sign 2 seconds before procedures. How is that fair? How do we know what we're signing when we're asked to sign something that long, that quick? We assume that they're taking care of our men. They're not. We have a lot of uneducated young Americans that think you're putting tags on people. I don't feel that way. Sex offenders must register. And I'm sorry, but the burqa wearing in this country should be banned. You should not be able to walk into my country covered up with possible weapons to kill my family, as I cannot walk into your country showing my face and my boobs. So take the shit off, follow our laws, and that's it. Or go back where you came from. But so if you're not holding anything and you're not covering anything up, you shouldn't care. And last but not least, if you are looking for a patient advocate for the Veterans of the United States Association, I am here. I would do it proudly and not sweeping issues under the carpet, as I've personally, forehandedly seen it for myself, along with thousands of other veteran women that I don't know today that are probably watching this video and thinking, Jesus Christ, this happened to us. I call my campaign Justice for Jesse Abrams and all the veterans in our country. Thank you for your time, Mr. Trump. God bless you and your family, from mine to yours, from our little town in Bowdoinham, Maine. To contact Fight for Jesse Abrams at gmail.com. Jesse Abrams, 9 Brook Lane, Bowdoinham, Maine, 04008. 207-666-1141. I hesitate not to give you that information, although some may be referred to our attorney. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you, Mr. Trump, for giving me a breath of hope that you are going to change America. Thank you.